Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
I'm trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those words.
I had no idea what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
you just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get clarification.
You're not recognized.
A U.S. House Oversight Committee hearing turned into a fiery showdown on Thursday, revealing just how broken political debate has become in America. What should have been a routine discussion spiraled into name-calling and attention-seeking drama. The argument between Representative Jasmine Crockett, a Democrat from Texas, and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican from Georgia, didn't just show their political differences. It showed how respect and real discussion in Congress are quickly disappearing, replaced by shouting matches and showboating. The argument kicked off during questions about federal spending during the pandemic. Greene, known for stirring controversy, cut off Crockett mid-sentence to question her approach. Crockett wasn't having it. Calm but firm, she fired back, reminding Greene of her past. If we're talking about respect, Crockett said sharply, maybe remember you were kicked off all your committee roles last Congress for putting other members at risk. She was referring to when Greene lost her assignments in 2021 after backing violent comments on social media. Even some Republicans thought she went too far. Greene, clearly upset, didn't respond with facts or policy points. Instead, she threw a personal insult. I don't have to take this from someone who cares more about fake eyelashes than real facts. It was a cheap shot, meant to provoke, and it did. The moment wasn't about laws or leadership anymore. It had become a personal fight. Crockett, a former public defender known for keeping her cool, didn't reply right away. She let the insult hang in the air, then hit back with a cutting response of her own. The only fake thing in this room is your concern for respect. Crockett fired back. You've spread wild conspiracy theories, mock school shooting survivors, and now you want to lecture me on professionalism. Her sharp words stirred murmurs. In the hearing room, some members shifted uncomfortably in their seats as the mood grew tense. Greene, unfazed, kept muttering under her breath, just loud enough for the microphones to catch, but low enough to deny it later if needed. At one point, she seemed to question Crockett's intelligence, prompting the Texas lawmaker to turn to the committee chair, Representative James Comer. Mr. Chairman, she said with a cutting tone, do rules of decorum cover quiet insults too, or only the ones loud enough for C-SPAN? Comer, clearly struggling to regain control, tried to move things forward, but the damage was already done. This wasn't just another viral shouting match. It exposed something deeper and more troubling. In Congress, the collapse of basic respect and how showy insults are now replacing real discussion. Greene's tactic, using personal attacks to sidetrack policy talks, isn't new, but it works because media attention and online buzz reward that behavior. Not long after the clash, former House parliamentarian Thomas Mann posted online, when name-calling replaces debate, the institution fails. Both sides share blame, but Greene's stunt-based strategy is especially harmful. This isn't leadership, it's performance. While Crockett's replies were strong, they came only after being provoked. The real issue? One side plays dirty while the other is forced to either ignore it and let it slide, or fight back and risk looking just as aggressive. Within hours, the video of the clash had racked up millions of views across social media, with reactions split right down political lines. Conservatives hailed Greene for owning the libs, while progressives celebrated Crockett for standing firm. But beyond the cheers and jeers, something more serious became clear. This kind of drama is now the goal for many politicians. In today's political world, a viral clip can be worth more than a well-crafted law. Substance gets left behind it. The rush for headlines. Greene, a master of making noise, seems to understand this better than most. She's not focused on passing laws. She's focused on building her brand as a hard-right firestarter. As staffers scrambled to continue the hearing, the bigger question hung in the air. Is this what congressional oversight has become? A battleground for personal grudges instead of serious investigation? A stage for outrage rather than solutions? What was once a committee for holding government accountable now risks turning into a political reality show where shouting wins over reason. Crockett may have earned applause for her comebacks, but in truth, Greene won something too. By turning the moment into a circus, she avoided any real debate. That's the dangerous trick. When politics becomes theater, no one talks about the issues anymore. If lawmakers keep choosing viral moments over meaningful work, then the real loser isn't Crockett or Greene, it's the American people. When Congress becomes more like pro wrestling than a place for governance, democracy takes the hit.
She's brought nude photos to committee. She has sat there in the State of the Union yelling at the president. She has called her colleagues on her side of the aisle worse than what she called me. And so the question is, what are we going to be? And you're the person that needs to make that decision. Now, you know, I decided to do it in a very creative way, but I wanted to make a point. And I think that I made that point to the chairman. I don't think that Marjorie will ever learn her lesson, though.
I won't stay silent. Representative Crockett reflects on her viral showdown with Marjorie Taylor Greene in an exclusive interview after her fiery exchange with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Representative Jasmine Crockett is standing firm. She says she has no regrets and no apologies. The Democrat from Texas, who went viral for calling out Greene's personal attacks during a House Oversight Committee hearing, shared her thoughts on what really happened and why these moments matter beyond internet views. For Crockett, it wasn't just political theater. It was a glimpse into what's broken in Congress today. The moment things boiled over, Crockett remembers the moment clearly. We were supposed to be talking about fraud and pandemic relief, real issues that affect people's lives, but instead, Marjorie Taylor Greene made it about my looks, she said. The now viral clip shows Greene interrupting Crockett's questions just to insult her eyelashes. Crockett believes it was no accident. She didn't come from my ideas, Crockett said. She came from my appearance because she had no real argument. As a former public defender known for staying cool under pressure, Crockett said Greene's jab crossed the line. Why Crockett chose to respond: I've been in tense courtrooms, Crockett explained. But there's a big difference between debating tough topics and making it personal. She believes members of Congress should hold themselves to a higher standard, but some, like Greene, treat it like a school cafeteria. Some critics have said Crockett's sharp response, which brought up Greene's history of conspiracy theories and extreme behavior, only made things worse. But Crockett disagrees. I wasn't sinking to her level, she said. I was calling out hypocrisy, plain and simple. Calling out the double standard. You can't demand respect while insulting someone's appearance. Crockett said, you can't yell about professionalism while spreading dangerous lies. She brought up Greene's past behavior, like pushing violence and harassing school shooting survivors, to remind people why Greene was removed from her committees. This wasn't just about me, Crockett said. It's about what kind of behavior we're allowing in politics. What bothers her most, she added, isn't just Greene's actions. It's the way the system encourages them. When outrage gets rewarded, she keeps doing it because it works, Crockett said. She gets attention. She raises money. Her supporters love it. The real work, holding people accountable, writing laws, solving problems, gets pushed aside. Crockett pointed to what happened after their argument. The original hearing topic, pandemic fraud, was completely forgotten in the buzz. That's the damage, she said. Every minute we waste on this drama is a minute we're not helping the people, who need us, support and backlash after the hearing. Crockett got the usual criticism from some conservatives, who claimed she was playing the victim, but she also got a wave of support, especially from black women who said they faced the same kind of treatment. So many women told me, I know exactly what that feels like, Crockett said. Being judged for your looks, being told to calm down when you speak up. This, she said, isn't just about politics. It's about who's allowed to speak and lead in these spaces. Even Republicans know it's a problem privately. Even some Republicans admit Greene's behavior is a problem. One GOP staffer, speaking off the record, said, everyone knows she's a problem, but she brings in money, so leadership ignores it. Crockett doesn't think Greene, or the bigger trend of performative politics, will stop anytime soon, but she's not staying quiet. I didn't come to Congress to be anyone's punching bag, she said. If someone attacks me, I'll respond. But I'd much rather be working on things that actually matter to people. Her message to others for others dealing with similar situations. Crockett had this advice: Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're the problem, she said. When someone tries to distract you with nonsense, call it out, then get back to work. Her clash with Greene wasn't just a viral clip. It was a snapshot of what politics in 2024 has become. On one side, substance. On the other, spectacle. On one side, accountability. On the other, outrage for attention. Voters have to decide what they want, Crockett said, because if this is what we accept, our democracy is in trouble.
That just because someone fantasizes or wants to be dramatic about the idea of someone could be a quote unquote man in a locker room or in a bathroom. I've yet to hear an actual testimony of someone who, for whatever reason, has experienced this in real time. But I can tell you some real numbers and some real facts, because I don't like to live in fantasy when I'm talking about how I'm going to govern for the American people. The facts are, in my state alone, in the state of Texas, once they decided that they were going to overturn the Roe decision, 26,000 women then ended up raped. 26,000 is what we had reported. And that was only within about a year's time span. And when they reported those rapes, none of them seemed to have anything to do with trans folk. And I don't recall any legislation to help out those women in Texas and beyond that are actually dying. We're not projecting may die, but are actually dying or have died in southern states that have decided that they wanted to go after our reproductive freedom. So as a woman in this country, as a Texan, and as a Black woman who, when we look at the numbers, and I believe in data and science, and I know that that escapes a lot of